Nederland verhoogt komende jaren het defensiebudget naar de 2%-norm die de NAVO stelt. Voormalig ambassadeur Pete Hoekstra pleitte daar tijdens zijn tijd hier veelvuldig voor. En is blij dat Nederland eindelijk overstag gaat. Welkom bij Uitgelicht. Goedenavond. In de eerste 5 maanden van dit jaar vonden maar liefst 212 mass shootings in Amerika plaats. Dat berekende de Amerikaanse non-profit Gun Violence Archive. Het komt erop neer dat er meer schietpartijen zijn geweest waarbij meer dan 4 mensen gewond raakten dan dagen in het jaar. In de studio Pete Hoekstra, voormalig Amerikaans ambassadeur in Nederland. Good evening, Mr. Hoekstra.
Good evening. Good to be with you.
Good to have you back.
It's good to be back. Thank you.
You were here until January 2021.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good to have you back. In your country, more people get killed in shootings than in wars abroad.
It's awful. Yes.
Yeah. What do you do about it?
Well, I mean, this is this is something that we've struggled with. I mean, it's not a brand new problem. Mm-hmm. It's been around for a while. This is something that we politically have not been able to come up with a solution. It really is. It's a values issue.
Yeah.
How do you get this lack of respect for life back into our community and back into our society? Mm-hmm. And it's probably a whole combination of things that we need to do. Some things that government can do.
Yeah.
But most importantly, how are these people brought up? What values do they have? And that's something that happens in our in our families,
yeah,
our schools, our churches,
and that's in people's mind.
Yeah, that's in people's mind.
Yeah, but you also talked about a political solution.
Yeah,
what's the political solution?
Well, I mean, it may be part of it. The access to guns, but that's always a big debate. In the Senate right now. They are talking about trying to do something, Republicans and Democrats, what they can agree on, mm-hmm. For some limitations, especially for younger people, for people who have mental issues or whatever, to gain access to guns.
Yeah.
And I think that's the smaller part of the problem. It really does get down to what are the values? What triggers that types of behavior? And how do we address that?
Yeah, you're a Republican, Republican Party. Most of the Republicans are in favor of guns.
We are,
and most of the Democrats are against guns.
Yeah, we are in favor of allowing people to. Republicans would phrase it as, we are in favor of the Constitution.
Okay.
Okay. Our Constitution says that people have the right to bear arms, and that so we're very reluctant to put significant restrictions on that. We also believe if you put significant restrictions on gun ownership, you will also be violating the Constitution, and the courts would throw it out.
Mm-hmm. President Biden wants to do something.
Republicans want to do something.
Okay,
yes,
but now is President Biden in office?
Right.
What can he do?
There's very little he can do as president. What he will have to do, and this is why it's so important, the negotiations that are going on between Republicans and Democrats, because the only way anything will happen is if they get Republicans and Democrats to agree, because in the U.S. Senate, they need to get 60 votes. Mm-hmm. And, the Democrats, and if you put the vice president with that, can get to 51 votes, but that means they still need 9 more votes to actually move something forward. Yeah. So hopefully they will come up with some type of a package that will get to 60 votes. Yeah. That will signal that Congress is serious about doing something, but at the same time, Congress needs to signal, that this is a bigger problem than just guns.
Yeah. In the meantime, the world is looking at you, and they ask themselves, what on earth is happening there in the United States?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Men walk into a shop, walk into a church, walk into a school, and shooting.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah. What do you tell them when you are asked about that.
Well, I mean, we talk about how horrific it is, and the problems and the issues that we face, and we're trying to get to a solution. The good thing is, this has been a long-term problem, but America, sometimes, we've faced a lot of challenges. We have successfully overcome many of them. And this may be hopefully one that one of these days we will we'll never eliminate it, but hopefully we can make significant progress against it.
Okay. We go to another hot topic in the United States. The Supreme Court is considering to dismiss the so-called right to abortion. Can you explain why the Supreme Court has the power to do that?
Because we are a country with a rule of law.
Yeah.
A number of years ago, the Supreme Court passed Roe versus Wade, which guaranteed at the national level the right to abortions.
Yeah.
What the Supreme Court has now decided is that is not a federal issue. So this will not determine whether abortions are or are not available in the United States of America. It simply says instead of deciding this issue through the courts or deciding it at the federal level, this will revert back to previous law, which says each of the 50 states will have the right to set its own standards, its own rules and regulations and framework for regulating abortion within the state.
Yeah. So you get 50 sets of rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we have 50. We have 50 different state tax codes. We have 50 different sets of traffic rules. We have 50 different sets of state laws against, criminal laws and those types of things. So
but this is about human life.
It is about human life.
Yeah.
But we will have a set of, it is a federalist society, and in the Constitution, it says very clearly, the only rights that the federal government has are those that are expressly given to the federal government through our Constitution.
Yeah.
All other rights are reserved for the states.
Okay. Your home state is Michigan?
Yes.
How is it there?
Well, I mean, you mean what the rules will be for
rules
abortion?
In Michigan? Yeah.
We will have if the opinion that was leaked it accurately reflects what the Supreme Court is going to decide, then the Michigan legislature, which most likely will be Republican, because this may not happen until after November, where we actually states start putting the framework in place. But the legislature and the governor will have to design the framework. Yeah. So we'll really be starting from scratch.
Yeah, there is a lot of tension about this issue in the United States.
Yes, a lot of tension. Yes.
Why is that? What?
Well, I mean, you have people who feel passionately on both sides. I mean, Americans are passionate about their politics, and when you talk about the issue of life, there are those of us who believe that life is a gift from God.
Yeah.
The other side of it, simplifying it, and it is not a simple question, would say, it's a woman's right to choose what they will do with an unborn child.
What will be the reaction of the pro-choice organization?
Well, we've seen the reaction.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they've picketed at the judges on the Supreme Court. They've picketed at their homes. They've picketed at the Supreme Court. So it will be a very difficult, tough, and public display of disagreement in the U.S. on how this goes through.
And the decision will be after November, you said? After the midterms?
No. I think that the Supreme Court will issue a decision. Yeah. But I think it will take a period of time for the states to interpret the decision and then start going and developing the legislation and pass it through the House, get a governor to sign it that will actually say, okay, these are now, as you asked me, these are, I can come back in a year and say, okay, this isn't how it now is in Michigan.
Yeah.
That may take a year. The Supreme Court, may decide the decision may become public in the next couple of weeks, but it will take a while for the states to work through the process.
Last question on this topic. You said life is a gift of God.
Some of us believe that, yes.
Life of people who are sitting in a school, walking in a shopping mall, are also a gift of God.
Absolutely. Yes.
But they're shooting at each other.
Yes, it's awful. Obviously there are people in our society who do not feel the same way about life. Life has become too cheap for some people in America. Yeah. And when I was in Congress, I was one of the few Republicans that was pro-life on the abortion issue, and I was also opposed to the death penalty. For even the worst of crimes, it's kind of like, no, that's an ultimate decision of taking someone's life. I don't have a problem, for someone who commits a terrible crime to, take the key and throw the key away once you put him into jail. But I was opposed to the death penalty. Okay.
We go to our country. Finally, the Dutch government is listening to you. You always hammered on 2% for defense when you were in office here, when you were an ambassador.
Yeah.
And now they do it.
Yeah, thank you. It will make a stronger NATO. It's
with or without the U.S.?
Oh, it will be with the U.S. I think if we see anything right now from the challenges that we face from totalitarian and authoritarian regimes, primarily China and Russia, I hope this is a real opportunity for the United States and Europe and our allies in Asia to come together. Because if we're going to confront the threats from China and from Russia, perhaps the only way we can do it and do it effectively is if we do this together. We do it together economically, we do it together politically, and we do it together militarily.
And is it enough, 2%?
Well, I mean, that will be for NATO to decide. We have a new president who will make the determination of what the United States will ask NATO countries to contribute to NATO. It may be a bigger number. I don't know. That is the decision of the current administration. I know that the current administration and Congress have approved to send. America's now at $60 billion that we are sending to Ukraine. Which I don't think Europe and the other NATO countries at this point have agreed to spend $60 billion in Ukraine. But that is for this administration to decide. We have one government at a time. And
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Because I want to ask you, when Donald Trump was in office right now, would the war in Ukraine also existed?
I met with the former president about 6 weeks ago. I went to Florida to see him, and we met. And I think from his public statements, and not our private conversation, but from the public statements he's made, I think he's made it clear. He believes that if he were president, Putin would not have invaded Ukraine. Well, that's a question we'll never have an answer to, right? But he will say, Russia took a piece of a neighboring country under President Bush. They did it under President Obama. They didn't do anything while he was president. And now we have President Biden, and now they've gone back to take another piece of Ukraine. And so, but that's a question we'll never have an answer to.
No, we never know. But he also criticized NATO.
While he was president.
While he was president,
Yes.
Maybe he would withdrawn the U.S. from NATO.
No, he would not have withdrawn. He wanted a strong NATO, believing that, you remember this, I would go on Dutch TV, and they would say, Pete, why is 2% expensive? Why do we need to pay 2%? Do you think Russia will invade us, attack us? And then they would laugh, and they, crazy Americans.
Okay.
And then they would say, and why can't we build this pipeline, Nord Stream 2, from Russia to Germany?
Yeah.
You think Russia's going to turn off the gas?
That was 2 years ago, eh?
2 years ago, 3 years ago, and they laughed, and in some cases they would ridicule America, they would ridicule Trump, they would ridicule me for having such crazy ideas.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're all coming closer together. We see Russia and China as a threat, and hopefully this will be the opportunity for the Biden administration, the different European governments in NATO and in the EU to come together and say, this is a real challenge to the West, to democracy, for countries that respect human rights. We need to work on these issues together.
Yeah. And how far will Biden go? Does he pump more money in it?
I don't know. That is this president's, again, it's this administration's responsibility to outline how they will shape this, the relationship moving forward, for the next 2.5 years until we have another election. But,
Yeah, another election, 2 years, in November 2024.
Yes.
Is your next president Donald Trump or a Trump?
It could be. Okay. I mean, I think I think that if President Trump runs again, he will have the Republican nomination. Okay, I think that will happen. And then it's hard to, we're 2.5 years away. It's hard to predict exactly who will win the election. But as we say in American politics, he's tanned. I had goede kleur.
Yeah.
Okay. He's rested.
Yeah.
And he looked ready.
Okay.
But we have to get past this November 1st.
Okay.
And then after this November, then sometime in 2023, Donald Trump will decide what he's going to do.
And you said if he runs, he gets the Republican ticket.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see in the future what happens.
Yeah.
If God wills. Last question. You left in January 2021.
Yep.
More than a year ago, 1.5 years.
Yep.
But we still don't have a new American ambassador.
That's right.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, the Biden administration has proposed. They've nominated a new ambassador for the Netherlands, which
Mr.
means
Duggal.
What's that?
Mr. Duggal?
No.
No?
The woman from California.
Okay.
Indian background. But now it is up to the Senate, to hold a committee hearing, and then to vote and confirm her nomination. I hope it. And this is saying nothing about her qualifications or anything like that. I firmly believe that the American president, with the agreement of the Dutch government, because they have to approve whoever we send, but that the agreement, that the person who's been nominated to be the ambassador, that the Senate will do their job quickly. I mean,
But in the meantime, the embassy is a lame duck here in The Hague.
Well, they have a chargé who, and we still have the 300 people that are there. Okay, who are promoting American interests and American-Dutch ties. But the Dutch are an important ally, and you would like to see them have full diplomatic representation here, and so hopefully it happens. Hopefully it happens quick.
Okay. Thanks for this conversation. Former ambassador.
Former, that's
US
right.
To the Netherlands, Mr. Pete Hoekstra.
Always good to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Want dit was Uitgelicht voor vandaag. Dank voor het kijken. Morgen bij Leven en Welzijn. Dan zijn we er weer. Nog een hele fijne avond en graag tot dan. Dag.